let's get to another big story coming out at the end of last week, although it's been around for over a year at this point. A U.S. appeals court has upheld a law requiring TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance to divest from the platform or face a U.S. ban starting January 19th of 2025. So we're talking weeks at this point. TikTok plans to appeal, and I believe they have now, arguing the ban infringes on free speech and lacks evidence of harm. If enforced, the ban could disrupt the social media landscape, benefiting companies like Meta and YouTube. ByteDance has stated it won't sell TikTok.
And X.
And yeah, Meta, YouTube, lots of other things, and then maybe eventually X. Maybe this is how X turns things around. Yeah, we'll see. ByteDance has stated that it will not sell TikTok, leaving its future in the U.S. and kind of by proxy Canada very uncertain. So we've talked about the TikTok ban numerous times. So instead of talking about it, because we can't predict the future, although I still don't think it's going to happen, let's say it actually did happen. Let's say in a month, although it'll probably drag out longer, let's say by next summer, TikTok is banned in the US and Canada, because we'll probably follow along. How do you see this altering the digital marketing landscape if all of a sudden TikTok just wasn't there? And this, I think, I can't remember a time where a platform that big all of a sudden vanished. Some things kind of squandered over time, but if something just really fell off the face of the earth in Canada and the US, what do you think it would do to the digital marketing landscape? Duncan, what do you think?
I don't think it's going to get banned. I think either the Supreme Court or someone's going to make changes.
Something's going to happen.
I do see a pretty heavy push for it to be banned, driven by the government of the Doge. The Doge Department of Government Efficiency. I feel like.
Well, I wonder why. I wonder why there'd be a tie. Strange.
So I think there will be a push. I'm curious what will happen with the Supreme Court, but it does. I think I kind of have to agree with TikTok that it's probably a free speech related thing. If it were to go away, I see a lot. I would suspect that there may be a move by Meta and Google to create a similar creator fund to just basically take all of that content and those content creators, as they say, just move it to their platforms. I don't really think there'd be much impact. I mean, I recognize that TikTok has a lot of tools and filters that make things fun. It actually has a better viewing experience, like the UX is better. But I think and I'm surprised that they haven't really tried to do this yet, or at least talked about it, but if there was a ban, I would immediately see them. It would be literally like Threads. It would just kind of come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, here you go. We made this thing. It's basically a shell of what the original TikTok was. And the goal would simply be to migrate customers from A to B, because there's a lot of money there, a lot of revenue there, a lot of data, which is what they're really after. So we've seen a lot of the cross-posting that's happening from TikTok to Reels to YouTube Shorts. Mm-hmm. I just see a simple jump to those programs as long as they are simple and easy to use. That I don't see why that wouldn't happen.
I think you bring up a good point about the creator fund, which I hadn't really thought about before. Still the barrier to entry to make money on YouTube, their monetization requirements, mm-hmm. it's pretty steep. And I mean, especially if you want to do it strictly through shorts, it's borderline not going to happen. You really have to catch lightning in a bottle a few times before it happens. When people monetize on YouTube, they reach that it's generally through longer videos, and then by default they can do other things. But what if somebody like YouTube Shorts came out and just said, you know what, we're going to lower the requirements to become monetized on our platform. They already have the technology. They already have an algorithm that works. I mean, it's right there. It's already exists.
All they have to do is make a Shorts app that is exclusively for Shorts, and then build in some sort of video creation system. And then I think that would be what you'd end up seeing. I don't think it
and they've already they've got it. They already made Shorts. You can make up to 3-minute Shorts now too. So it's almost like they're really priming it up.
I feel like they're waiting for it, and or maybe part of the reason why they're trying to get it banned, because it is so successful. because you absolutely know that those big corporations have their fingers in politicians' pockets. So I don't know, fingers in their pockets,
Hands maybe,
dollars,
like
dollars in their
yeah,
pockets.
but you'd have to put the hand in to get the dollar out, or put the dollar in. Hands in pockets
With money in the hands.
Yeah, so maybe it would be more like hands in wallets, which the wallets are in the pockets. Okay,
Hands
we
in
got
wallets
you.
work. I
Really
like
good
that.
to them.
Yeah.
Okay, or purses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do wonder if, particularly Meta, has the app built, just waiting in the wings.
Yeah.
And if it goes through, they've got the budget to do it. They've got the budget to develop it. And if it goes through, they can just release the day after or the same day. And if it doesn't, then no one ever has to know.
I was
Well,
always
it's kinda
wondering what
like-
Google was going to be working on, and then they just released that chip, that new quantum chip, which we thought we wouldn't have for a while. So that's
Sure.
well, now we know what Google has been working on, and we got Meta working on their. Are they still doing MetaQuest? I think they're still doing MetaQuest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The 3S is the most recent one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I would fall off my chair if YouTube finally figured out social media. Like if they spun Shorts off and it became the next TikTok, I don't know what I would do. They fail so hard on social media every time. Imagine if TikTok went away and it just completely fell on their laps and they're like, we have Shorts, spin it off separately. Kind of, Ian, you were talking about with Instagram having something in the mix. Maybe they spin Reels off separately, or maybe they make it a more prominent part of the Instagram experience. Or maybe when you get into Instagram, it's Reels are first.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember Threads? We're back.
Hey guys, over here. We've had this thing for a couple of years now. Yeah. So we'll wait and see. I think we're somewhat in agreement that this probably won't get banned. I think the other thing you could see is there might be a push for people to go a little more underground with their social. Between if they're just communicating with a small group of people, maybe they just move to a platform where they don't need to be seen by the world. With more requests for privacy, etc., do they push to a more underground platform? Does somehow TikTok still exist, but you have to use a VPN to get it, and it still is a thing, something along those lines. But I could see a lot of people just saying, you know what, I don't want to be heavily advertised to. I don't want people to know what I'm doing. I'm just going to go underground with my group of friends on a different platform, and that's just where we're WhatsApp or whatever. We're just going to live there. I could see that happening too. So
You can also see
that might happen anyways.
A lot of creators becoming unemployed and having to go make money the real way again. Because a lot of people use those platforms to promote sales of whatever they're trying to sell, and they have a pretty big following from it. So, I mean, you're right that some will have to likely change platforms or find a way to survive. But I don't know. It could actually impact the workforce in a weird way because it takes away a lot of people's ability to make money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Krispy Kreme opening here in Edmonton, they obviously had a media influencer event because last week everybody in town knew Krispy Kreme was going to open next week because it was everywhere. Every person with any sort of social influence in Edmonton was at Krispy Kreme. And we weren't because it wasn't open. So now we can go and stand in line like everybody else if we're suckers. Cool. So we'll wait and see. It's odd too. Like January is coming so quickly. Like, are they going to just turn the faucet off in the middle of January? Like, there's other things in the States going on in January that they'll have to worry about first. So we'll see.